You have to remember that protein is used to recover the muscular system when you're working out. It's used for cellular health, mitochondrial health. It's used for bone health and density and all that kind of stuff too. So protein is very important.
315. About to be throwing up with the booty and the hams. Yep. Woo! Come on! Get it! Woo! Yep, we count it. Come on, go! Go! Ooh, and that was the final set too. Oh my goodness, ouch. Okay, we're gonna talk to Nick about his protein habits. Now, it's perfect timing. He's got his little.
That's my protein habit right there.
What's in your protein shake?
Hate it.
It's like a staple, right?
It is a staple. It's a half cup of ground oats, 16 ounces of oat milk, 2 scoops of protein powder, I'd say about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, and a big fat banana.
A big fat banana.
Yeah,
That's
big
good.
slimy
That's good.
banana.
Slimy.
Close to 100 grams of protein in this sucker.
Very good.
And I drink the same exact shake every day, and I hate it at this point. But that's my own fault because I have all the tools in my toolbox to switch it up, and I choose not to. So.
I mean, routine, right? Routine gets personal trainers those into their fitness.
That's
but
exactly right.
So you have 100 grams of protein right there every day covered. But then, what are your protein habits otherwise? About how much do you think you get each day in total? Because you're about 220 pounds, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
He's a thick boy.
He's thick.
Thick boy.
Aside from the shake, and I'm not super anal about tracking my macros.
Me either.
But I would say somewhere in the range of the 220 to 250 grams. And that's just having balanced meals all around the board. Like I said, that is the one macro that I would focus most on in terms of reaching
prioritize.
a certain limit.
Sure.
That my priority would go, for me, proteins to carbs to fats.
That's reasonable.
I would say that's probably a pretty fair range, somewhere in the 200 to 250.
Awesome. And then outside of your coveted shake that you love so much, what are some of your favorite sources of protein that you tend to go back to?
I mean, the end all be all for me, I love chicken.
Chicken?
I do love chicken. Probably my favorite. I frequent Greek yogurt quite often at the end of the night. That's like my pre-bedtime snack. I'll throw some like peanut butter powder in it.
Yeah, powder peanut butter. Yeah.
Yep.
A little bit less fat, but you still
caloric
get
intake
more protein, so
Yep.
it's like calories to protein ratio is a little better.
Exactly.
Get that peanut flavor.
I was gonna say my chicken sausages I eat in the morning, but that would also classify as chicken.
You're right, it would.
Eggs are a big one.
Eggs are great.
I'd say I eat probably 8 eggs a day. So
You just love everything chicken, because chickens lay eggs. Did you know that? Did you know that?
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Oh!
That's a really good question. I just realized that the chickens do lay eggs. You get yourself a couple chickens, and you can
Live that homestead life.
You can get all your protein if you said chicken.
So easy. They're the easiest little animals. They're so cute.
Did you know that rabbits also lay eggs? Easter. Think about it.
Everything lays eggs.
Think about it.
Humans lay eggs.
Are you identifying rabbits now?
I'm on a bad boy. Well, I would take it.
Later?
It's gonna be too long.
Go either way.
Just tell me what you got in there. Tell me what you got in
the
there.
food?
Yeah, just tell me what you got in there. We'll talk more
Sorry.
specifics later.
So this here is oatmeal, Greek yogurt, and strawberries.
Oatmeal, Greek yogurt, strawberries. How much protein in there would you say? Well, you should know the exact amount, right?
I can look on my chronometer app.
There we go.
There's probably like 62 grams.
62 grams, lovely.
Oh, hold on. Where is it? No, this one's only 50.
Okay.
My other
Only
brand.
50, so he's losing out on 10 grams of gains.
50.
Just kidding. You
Losing
got
out
any
on
sweetener in
gains.
there too, or is it just those 3 ingredients?
I don't really.
They've always kind of.
No, I didn't do any sweetener.
Like,
Salt.
Salt. Salt will help. It will help, what's the word? intensify the flavor. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Add salt to your sweets.
This is like one of my favorite things to eat before I work out, because I'll be working out in like 2 hours. So
Got it. Yeah,
I like
that's
this.
a good pre-workout meal. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like this too. If you're looking at the musculature or the anatomy of like the muscles that you want to build to get a nice looking butt, gluteus maximus, and a strong butt, I guess you could say.
Juicy.
A nice thick juicy peach. Nice thick juicy peach. What we're going to be looking at primarily is probably going to be the gluteus maximus, or I'll often call it or refer to it as the glute max, the gluteus minimus, and then the medius. Switched up the order there for some reason, but basically, really quickly with the maximus, it's going to be like the big part of the butt that you see. Minimus is going to kind of be out to the side, and then medius is going to be more so out to the side, but also down, and then the medius is like up high there. If you see that little like butt shelf.
Butt shelf.
Butt shelf. I think sometimes sometimes I am a slight believer if people train their minimus too often, like they're always doing these kickback stuff and they don't work the maximus enough, it kind of creates that weird little like butt divot that some people have. Slight theory, I've never tested it with people, it's hard to say, but so
Slight angle.
you'll feel your butt a little bit. Grace already does it naturally, but like if you just go straight forward and then straight back, which is what a lot of people do, you don't really feel that in the glute very much.
More hamstring.
Yep.
More hamstring.
More hamstring. Now,
Wish you were all-
out to the side like you were, and that you can tell hits the glute a lot better. And the reason why that hits the glute much better, and I believe that's why we should always be teaching individuals to do glute kickbacks in that way, is due to the muscle fibers here. So let's say that, for example, if you go straight back, you're not actually pulling in line to the muscle fibers. So it's kind of coming back to the example of if you're doing a kickback like this, just straight back, you're not actually following the plane of the fiber of that musculature. So it's taking us back similarly to the way that we would train biceps here. Although that is the plane of the fiber, it kind of be like, again, if you're trying to train your biceps and you're going like this.
Sure.
Not the plane of the fiber, right? So that's just one kind of name there. So that's that.
Big man coming back to discuss the wonders of amino acids, protein, the game's nutrient. I would just love to hear about your rationale behind your approach to protein and your personal diet and nutrition.
Okay, so first off, I will say with my clients, I meet them where they're at. So I don't necessarily just like take somebody that's eating 50 grams of protein a day and jump them up to like 1 gram per pound of body weight right away. That's always the goal within time.
Yeah.
But with that being said, for myself and for the clients that I train for physique sports, so bodybuilding, bikini, anything like that, what I like to do, sorry to make this super complicated, but figure out your lean body weight or try to get an estimate of how much you weigh when you're lean. So essentially, like if you strip away most or all of your body fat, how much would you weigh? For me, I know that I would weigh about 175 or so, 175, 180, because I've been there with like nearly zero body fat. So that's nice for me because I've been there, but you can also like do body fat measurements and kind of calculate it like that. And then again, sorry to make it complicated, I don't know why, but a lot of the research on protein is done with kilograms per gram. So what I've come to, and what I think is probably best for hypertrophy, strength building, maintaining muscle mass, is 3.3 grams per kilogram of lean body weight. So if we take my body weight of lean, so lean tissue, I would be about 84 kilograms. Take that, times it by 3.3. It ends up being about 280 grams of protein every single day. So that ends up being, for me, about 80 grams more than body weight. Okay, so it's more than 1 gram per pound of body weight. And personally, actually, that's where I feel the best for recovery, for performance, for all these different things. I will say sometimes in like the tail end of diets, I will drop that down a little bit just to give more room to carbohydrates for energy. But like off season, when you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, you get a lot of what's called trace carbs or ancillary carbs that come in. Trace proteins that come in from your carbohydrates. So you're getting a lot of protein in there that's not necessarily a highly bioavailable. So I like to keep it really high then, so I keep it at the 280. And then when you're dieting, you want to have more protein so you don't lose muscle mass. So therefore, when your carbs lower, if you keep that protein up high, it's coming from more highly bioavailable foods. And then that'll kind of answer the question of like what proteins I eat. Highly bioavailable proteins. So if possible, I try to steer away from like all the vegan sources like, you know, rice and beans and stuff like that. It's okay, but you don't want that to be your primary if muscle building is your main goal.
Yeah.
So like a plug, Fat Muscle Protein or Fat Muscle Project, their whey protein is super good. I love the vegan one that actually does have all the amino acids because it's a blend. I love their whey protein isolate. So I do a lot of whey protein isolates because I like sweet things. I do a lot of Greek yogurt. I eat grass-fed beef. My wife and I buy a whole cow like every year.
That's
so
right. I gotta tap into that too.
I love grass-fed beef. I love salmon, sardines. Those are a good fat source and protein source. And then chicken tenderloins. Not a big fan of getting fat in from your chicken, so I try to veer away from like fattier breast or dark meat. So I do the tenderloin that are super, super lean. And then when I'm dieting, I do a ton of egg whites. Like right now, my breakfast is one whole carton, which ends up being about 420 grams by weight, which ends up being about 47, 48 grams of protein in there. So, and then Greek yogurt, if I didn't mention that already.
Greek yogurt,
That's a good one.
Absolutely. Greek yogurt gang out here.
So good when you're like dieting. It's so satiating and it just tastes
versatile too. You can do a lot with it.
Yeah. With the protein, I like to make protein powder. I like to make kind of like smoothies. I will make it into like a protein mug cake every once in a while. And honestly, 280 grams of protein goes down very easily for me. And you know, I don't get any like digestive upset or bloat or anything like that. I think if you're managing gut health and stuff like that, you don't really have to worry about it. So
absolutely, dude.
That's
Great answer.
That's what I do. I know it's a little bit complicated, but I think a general easy answer to start would be try to get close to 1 gram per pound of total body weight.
Yep.
And then for a lot of individuals, because like if you have somebody that is carrying around more body fat, 1 gram per pound total is going to be good because that individual doesn't have quite as much lean tissue mass anyways. Because remember, my equation is based on lean tissue. So how much muscle mass, how much skeletal tissue you have. Because you have to remember that protein is used to recover the muscular system when you're working out. It's used for cellular health, mitochondrial health. It's used for bone health and density and all that kind of stuff too. So protein is very important. I think also if you're looking at like body composition, the way that you see thermic effect of food, so basically how many calories you burn to digest protein is going to go way up. So that's why sometimes we have clients that start with us like, oh my gosh, this is too much food. I'm full. I don't think I'm going to be losing weight. I'm going to probably gain weight. And I'm like, no, just stick to it. If you keep eating this protein, you're probably going to actually start to lose weight. And that's usually what we see as long as protein is in check. So
absolutely.
That's my thoughts on protein. I like protein.
I'm sure you've got many more to give.
Yeah, but that's a general.
Yeah,
general.
I appreciate it, buddy. So, thank you. Thank you. Pete, what is your favorite source of protein?
I like steak. And venison and elk.
Steak, venison, and elk. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Those are some athletic animal, the elk. You are what you eat.
The red blood cells.
The red blood cells.